All right, welcome to our new series. We're diving into the integral journalistic model, and we're starting with the very first step. And honestly, it's probably the most important thing in journalism. You. Yeah, you. We're going to explore why working on yourself isn't just some side quest, but actually the secret to making your journalism truly powerful. I mean, think about it. You're the one shaping the infosphere, right? It's all through your unique lens. So it just makes sense that as you develop, your stories will too. They're going to get richer, deeper, just better. Okay, so let's really get into this. The big idea here is that everything about who you are as a person, it all flows directly into every single part of your work. It all starts with what you even notice in the first place, right? The little slice of the world that grabs your attention. That's your input. Then comes the processing, how you actually make sense of all that information. And of course, the output is how you package it up and communicate it. And here's the cool part. As you develop, your whole perspective changes. You'll literally start getting different story ideas. You'll process complex stuff in new ways and tell stories you never would have before. So let's start developing our journalist self, if you will. We're not talking about a total life overhaul. There are coaches for that. We're just going to focus on a few key areas that really shape your work. And hey, if you happen to grow as a person along the way, well, that's a pretty nice bonus, isn't it? Just remember, everything we talk about from here on out, it's just an invitation. You decide what works for you, what you want to try out. Sound good? So why are we even talking about this? Why is this personal development stuff so important? Well, it goes back to when Stefan Schultz was creating this whole model. He noticed something, a pattern. He remembered all those times he started a story with these huge, ambitious goals. And he saw it in his colleagues, in his students. They'd start big, but then they'd slowly have to scale it all back. And I bet that sounds familiar, right? You have this incredible idea for a story, this masterpiece in your head. But by the time it's done, it's smaller. It's been compromised. So the big question is, why does this happen so often? Well, it turns out there's a name for this whole frustrating process. It's a system archetype called eroding goals. It's this classic pattern where you hit a wall with a project, and so you start chipping away at your own high standards just to get the thing finished. And that amazing story you dreamed of, it just shrinks. It becomes something you can do, but maybe not something you're really proud of. And Stefan figured out there are basically two big reasons this happens. First, you just feel overwhelmed, The story is just way bigger than your current skill set. The second is a feeling of helplessness, like you're all alone, without enough support from your team or your network. And that's exactly what his courses are designed to fix, to build up your skills so you can handle that complexity, and to create a support system so you never feel helpless. So, how do we fight back against eroding goals? Well, this is where the integral journalistic matrix comes in. You might remember it from our foundation series. The best way to think about it is like your own personal journalistic toolkit. And I absolutely love this metaphor for it. The matrix is like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Seriously, this isn't some strict, rigid rule book you have to follow. It's a huge spread of tools and methods, and you get to pick what you need. So how does this buffet work? Well, it's organized around 5 main principles of integral journalism. And under each of those principles, you've got dozens of specific methods to help you create amazing work. And to make it even easier, it's all laid out along a 7-step story process, literally from that first spark of an idea all the way to the final polish. And this is where it gets really powerful. In Stefan's classes, people actually create their own development profiles. They look at the buffet and ask themselves, okay, which of these methods, from which principle, is going to help me most during, say, the research phase? It's all about you picking and choosing the exact tools that are going to push you and your story forward. It's completely customized. And this right here is where your personal journey can begin. If you're up for it, that is. In the next few explainers, we're going to dive deep into each of those 5 principles. We're going to stock your toolkit. So here's how you can play along. As you watch the next videos, keep that buffet idea in mind. Just jot down any methods that jump out at you, the ones that make you go, ooh, that sounds interesting. And then, and this is the key part, just try them. Experiment with them in your next piece. Seriously, just have fun with it. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of the principles, let's just zoom out for a second. We need to understand what they're really for. Because trust me, these aren't just some abstract academic rules. The way Stefan Schultz puts it, they're actually like 5 superpowers. Superpowers that let integral journalism make a real impact on the world. So,
Ready to find out what your 5 superpowers are? We're going to break down exactly what they are and how you can use them in our very next explainer. I'll see you there.